Yo, what's goody, man? This is Sideline Story Podcast with your boy Queso and Ray Swisher. So I told y'all last episode, Queso he on full time now, so we finna get these episodes out, man. How you doing, bro?
Chilling, man. Blessed. Can't complain. How you been?
Chilling, man. Working. So unless you was living under a rock, we all found out that the Lakers they actually went ahead and hired JJ Redick, excuse me, to be their new head coach. This has been speculated for a while now. We knew Dan Hurley was also a strong candidate. We also found out Monty Williams got fired too. I think he would have been a candidate if he had got fired a little earlier. I don't know how much of an impact it would have made on this, but give me your initial thoughts though when you seen the breaking news.
I mean, I think it's kind of been a roller coaster. I think initially everybody thought it was going to be JJ Redick, and then the whole Dan Hurley thing, like you said, popped up, and then he chose not to go there. So it's not really surprising, but I think it's interesting just because you hiring a coach that has no experience prior, and this is the Lakers, which is a cornerstone franchise in the league. So you want to see how that's going to work out for him. How short is his leash going to be? Are they going to be quick to get him out of there if he's not, performing like you expect the Lakers to perform? So it's gonna be interesting. You still got LeBron, AD. Well, LeBron for the moment and AD. So it's you got some pieces you can move around, make something happen, build it how you want. But I want to see what they do.
Um, my question is, everybody's saying, does LeBron have anything to do with this? How much of an influence was he in this acquisition? I'm of the mindset of he had to have some sort of approval. I'm pretty sure they ran something by him. I'm not saying he spearheaded this straight to Genie and Kurt Rambis and the rest of the front office, but I think he definitely had some sort of input. He definitely gave the head nod to it. Um, him JJ being a candidate was kind of confusing because of the lack of experience. But does experience even matter anymore to you?
I don't think it matters as long as you like building your coaching staff with you get some experience on your staff somewhere. I don't think if you the head coach, I don't think you necessarily have to have experience. It would definitely help having some level of like coaching. Like that's not like coaching your son's team. Like, but
Right.
I think at the end of the day, I think he'll be fine. He's an X's and O's guy, so he loves the game. He lives, breathes the game of basketball. So, and they did come out and say that LeBron had no hand in the hiring, but I don't buy that. I mean, you got a whole podcast with this guy, and now you telling me he had no hand whatsoever in the hiring. Like, come on now, it's crazy.
The rough part about this job is it doesn't have that it doesn't have like the aura that it had when it's growing up. Like the Lakers head coach, that was one of the like most heralded titles of our generation because we knew Phil growing up, for the most part. I believe D'Antoni had the job at one point, Vogel, Darvin Ham, but we all know Phil. I feel like Phil had the longest leash of coaches, probably dating back to maybe like a Pat Riley or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It felt like he was so in tune with the organization, and I felt like he had Kobe and Shaq. Like he had their trust. That's important.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say, how I want to ask. I guess I could just say how much leash, because you mentioned it a while ago. How much leash do you think JJ Redick does have?
I mean, I think they're gonna give him. I don't think it's gonna be like the Dan Hurley, how they was willing to give him like full like rebuild mode and go do your thing. I don't think it's gonna be that, but I think he's gonna have a pretty decent leash. I think he's respect. Like he's played the game. He knows the game very well. He's fresh. Like he's been in the game recently. Like he's only been retired 2 maybe 3 years. So
3 years, yeah, 3 years.
he's gonna be able to relate to the players, and then he's also proven that he just is a basketball mind. So I think they obviously had him like on the top of their list for a reason. So I don't think that his like him just popping up out of nowhere. I don't think it's by chance. I think it's because they believe in him. I just think that once the Dan Hurley thing fell apart, that they kind of fell down to their second option. But I think his leash will still be pretty. They have a pretty good leash to deal with. So I don't think we got to worry about him being fired halfway through a season or after one season. I think he'll get at least 2 full seasons in before they start questioning him. So
You said 2 full seasons?
yeah, I think he'll get 2 for sure.
Because that was my questions to myself going in. I was thinking, is he gonna get a true chance to fail and succeed? That's the thing. I don't. If it starts to get rocky, like around the trade deadline area, like first year, like what do we? How do we feel? What are we thinking at that point? But they can't fire him initially. I feel like at least 2 years minimum. They can't fire another coach because that's just gonna look horrible right about now. because the franchise, it just seems such in disarray, especially from like a head coaching standpoint. It's like it's no stability, especially with that position. I feel like it's been rocky for a long time now. I feel like no coach is safe under that title.
Yeah, well, they kind of put themselves in this position because they could have had Ty Lue,
Mm-hmm.
and they were BSing around with him. Jason Kidd, they fumbled, let him get away. So they had to settle with Frank Vogel, which I mean, they got a ring with Frank Vogel, so you can't really. I don't know if I would say that he was the reason why, but
Right.
and then obviously Darvin Ham, he had a short tenure there, so they kind of put themselves in this position. And at this point, if you fire another coach, it just looks like you grasping for straws. You don't really have a plan. You look kind of irresponsible and kind of like you don't know what's going on as a franchise. So better be hoping and praying that this one hits, because if not, you're looking like a joke to the rest of the league. You got small market teams with coaches that have been there for 7-8 years, and you can't keep a coach for more than 2 or 3. It looks bad.
You said something kind of funny earlier today. It was you, I believe. What if he get hired and LeBron leaves?
Oh yeah, that would be. I mean, I don't see it happening, but it would just be like, how crazy would that be if you got a podcast with this guy, you get hired as a coach, assuming you're going to be coaching this guy, and then he just right during the off season, just all right, I'm gone. It'd be wild.
I'm excited for JJ though. I can't wait to see what type of philosophy he implements within his team. But the only thing is, I will say, unless they can land like a big name, because I like to think like later on down the line, because you got maybe 2 years of LeBron left, and AD is what, 31, 32?
AD is he 30 yet? 29 maybe?
He's definitely 30. I want to say 30.
Let me see. I got the roster pulled up right here. Oh, he's 31. Yeah, he's 31.
Okay, so prime AD, how many years? I'm thinking three good years left, maybe something like that. I feel like it's gonna get kind of shaky once LeBron departs, and I feel like he has a true chance to really rebuild unless they can land a name, because we always associate names with the Lakers. It was always synonymous, and I feel like once LeBron leaves, it could get kind of rocky, because once he leaves, I don't know what AD's future, what that's going to look like. He may want to move around too, so I don't know. It might get a little rough in a couple of years, but that comes with the territory.
Yeah, and I'm sure JJ is well aware of that. I know he said he has plans to kind of like prioritize AD and kind of put him in a position to where he's leading the franchise. But I think they'll be able to bring in somebody this year to help out and kind of hopefully get them start off on the right foot and get them going in the right direction. And then obviously LeBron, at some point, he's got to retire. He's not going to be here forever. So though I'm sure he's got some type of plan in place to pivot and get out of there and bring in a new wave of players or another star trying to build somebody up. So luckily they hired him before the draft so he can kind of get his pick in there and start off how he wants to.
Okay, I want to pivot to Dan Hurley for a minute. Do you think that was like smoke and mirrors, or do you think it was something legit to that?
No, I think it was legit. I mean, obviously you got a coach that's just won back-to-back, so he's gonna be high. He's gonna be a high commodity. But
Right.
I just think it came down to him being like based in the East Coast and having the family here. And then I think he was flattered by the offer, but I think at the end of the day, he kind of figured at this point it's probably not the best situation. And then I think just a chance to three-peat, I don't see anybody passing that up. So
it's hard
you gotta go for that. And then down the line, I mean, we know he wants to coach in the NBA because he said it. So I can see if they don't three-peat, say this year, whatever team has an opening, I can see them reaching out or waiting for the right opportunity or the team he wants to be on, waiting and taking that opportunity. But I don't think it was smoke and mirrors. I think they both had a genuine interest, and then he just kind of made the decision that was best for him at the time.
Yeah. I was watching I woke up this morning and I checked the YouTube, and Bill Simmons had dropped the episode like, why don't the Lakers have a head coach yet? It did seem kind of I don't know, it just seems so unorganized, especially from a franchise that seemed pretty well run, like us growing up. It felt like they always someone had it together, and like over the past few years, it just seemed like they kind of didn't know what they was doing, or it seemed like they were just kind of going along with the motions at some point. They couldn't never get the coach right. I hope they got it right for the fans' sake at this point, because all these head coaching changes, that just got to be so discouraging to your fan base. But like you said, giving up the chance 3P, it's just hard to do, hard to pass up. I don't think anybody would have given up that, and maybe a better job could come along with it. I know that sounds kind of crazy, considering he just passed up the coaching the Los Angeles Lakers, but you never know what opportunities may come. What better opportunity as far as like a better roster construction? You know what I'm saying? You never know what leads there. But you got anything else about this?
Yeah, I just think in general, the teams in the league, they gotta kind of stop being so quick to pull the trigger and fire coaches. I think you gotta have growing pains. You gotta let them. They might come out the gate struggling and then build their way up. They might come out the gate on fire and then have a downward season or whatever. But you gotta let them get through it. You can't just, you know, what I'm saying, 1 and 2 seasons just be done. You gotta let the progress happen. You gotta let things unfold before you just go and start all over, scrap it. It's kind of like rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, you start them and then they have a bad season, then we just kind of forget about them. We don't give them a chance to grow, develop. Like, you gotta give these coaches a chance the same way you gotta give players a chance.
Speaking of that, what's up with Monty? I feel like you was kind of talking about Monty too. I don't know. I feel like it was some teams in there. What do you know anything? I don't know anything about that. Like, that was kind of crazy.
I don't know. They gave him a huge contract, and then after one season, I don't know if he expected them to take them to the playoffs first year or something. But with that roster, like, I'm like, what do you expect out of this man? I don't get it. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm thinking they got Cade Cunningham. They drafted Twin. They got Jalen Duren, who seemed like he a double machine. It's Isaiah Stewart. Like, I feel like you got to just start finding out who your cornerstones are as a franchise. And like we're going into another draft. Like, give this man some time to really build his roster out and implement his offense and defensive strategies. Like, it's just no patience whatsoever. I don't know if it was like any turmoil with him in the front office. I haven't heard anything yet, but that was just like the most confusing thing to me when it came across my phone. I didn't know what to think. I was like, he just got the job.
Yeah, but guess maybe, like you said, maybe something with the front office, or maybe like him and the players aren't connecting, and like they saying it during practices and stuff. Maybe something like that. I don't know, but just to give them all that money and then just let them walk after the season is, well, you just threw 60 something million dollars down the drain. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate y'all, man. That's all we got for this one. Sideline Story. We finna get some more episodes out to y'all, but peace right now.